Carolyn's family has a company called Let's Get Lost. They are tour guides. Karen grew up in a family of tour guides, but where she prefers to find things, overlook landmarks, and bring people to places they can find again, Carolyn's family, her mother, her father, and their new employee, the unbelievably handsome little Hans, who has captured the heart of Carolyn's math teacher, which we'll meet later, lead people to places that they don't know where they are. They go on vacation for 3 weeks, they have no idea where they've been. So they're very different. Sort of branches off this, same tree, but different branches. So Carolyn's family was stunned by her announcement, but their surprise quickly turned to celebration. Sure, she was marrying a normal guy on a deadline, which is sort of hard for them because it's very linear. But Ned was a really nice normal guy, and their timeline for the wedding was so insanely tight, her parents couldn't help but applaud the craziness of it. Our little girl is lost in love, Carolyn's mother said, as they headed to La Callista, the diner across the street from Carolyn's apartment, her regular place, for breakfast. How wonderful! We are very happy for you, Miss Chupesky, Carolyn's high school math teacher, who is a voice on the New York City subway system, said, reaching for little Hans's hand. We are happy for you as two individuals and as a pair. More coffee for the bride-to-be, Nico, Carolyn's favorite waiter, said the owner of La Callista. You could have told us the news before we heard it from someone else, but other than this, we are extremely happy for you. But who told you? Little Hans asked. Oh, Ivrit Katan, of course, Nico said. She's a very early riser, with a lot of ideas, I might add. Nico lingered a little longer than usual at Carolyn's table to explain. Katan's wife, Ivrit, had phoned Nico and Grimelda, the other co-owner of the diner, she keeps control of the bell on the takeout counter, and if you violate any of the diner's rules, and there are many, none of them stated, she rings the bell. Ivrit had called Nico and Grimelda at dawn to confirm the date of Carolyn's shower. An hour later, Ivrit had called to rearrange it. Normally this would annoy me, Nico said, but because it's you, I say, a toast to the bride. Nico raised a coffee cup and bowed deeply. To the bride! La Callista's regulars joined the toast. Ding! Grimelda rang her bell. Really? Nico turned and glared at his partner behind the counter. Well? Grimelda looked down at her bell and shook her head. She took a deep breath as if she were about to hurl herself off a craggy cliff. Congratulations to the bride, she said. To the bride, the room repeated. Ding! Grimelda rang her bell again. Sorry, she said. It is an old habit. One last toast to the bride's wedding dress. The two men in the booth by the door called out. Now, Carolyn knew them by sight. The taller of the two men carried a small sketchbook to breakfast each morning. The shorter one wore a name badge on a lanyard around his neck. The two men crossed the room to Carolyn's table. The taller one carried his sketchbook with him. I hope you'll accept this as a token of our affection, the man with the sketchbook said. He opened the book and pointed to a drawing of the most perfect wedding dress Carolyn had ever seen. Its lines were so simple, yet so elegant. I'd like to do this for you in a pale silk, the man with the sketchbook said, unless you'd prefer spring velvet. Pale silk! Pale silk! Everyone in La Callista yelled. Ding! Grimelda rang her bell. Her sense of romance had a short half-life. Her sense of duty was back on full force. Oh, this is such a nice thing to do, Carolyn told both men, and I'm very grateful for the offer, but why are you being so nice to me? I mean, we are strangers. Oh, you may not know us, but we know you, the first man said. We've been following your life story from across the room forever. I mean, we didn't mean to eavesdrop. Yes, you did, the other regulars at La Callista called out. Okay, so we did. We all did, and we do. The goings-on at your table have been better than a reality show. Will she? Won't she? Who are they? Where did he go? And who is that handsome stranger? The man smiled at little Hans. Little Hans, who is a tour guide by trade, has been commandeered to be an extra on a soap opera while he's in town. He's that handsome. And his name on the soap opera is Handsome Stranger. I am flattered, little Hans told them. Would you like an autographed headshot? Sure, the man with the lanyard said. And now you're getting married, the man with the sketchbook said to Carolyn. He pulled a tape measure from his jacket pocket. If you could stand up, please, I'd just like to get a sense of your dress body. To whom should I autograph the photo? Little Hans asked the man with the lanyard. My name is Lance, the man said. Hello. Hi. You want to read with us? This is Amelia. My friend. Bye. Bye. Okay.
My niece.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's great. She wants to play guitar, I think, someday. My name is Lance, the man with the lanyard said. And who is he? Little Hans said, pointing to the man taking Carolyn's measurements. He seems very professional. Oh, he's Beltram of Beltram, the designer dress company, Lance said proudly. He's the best. You are Beltram of Beltram? Little Hans asked the first man. I have read of your work. And we have seen your photos in the press, the second man said, pointing to little Hans. Oh, this is incredibly kind of you, Carolyn told Beltram as he measured her. A wedding dress. I mean, that's such a generous gift. What's generous? We eat breakfast in the same room most every day, Beltram said, as he refolded his measuring tape. We're almost like family. A breakfast family. Ms. Chupesky, Carolyn's old math teacher, considered the idea. That is quite novel. I wonder what the genus and species of this family would be. Have you made a joke, my love? Little Hans asked Carolyn's high school former math teacher. I believe I have, Miss Chupesky said. Well, now, we can't do a bride's dress without doing her maid of honor's dress as well. Your stunning best friend will be your maid of honor, of course. I mean, who else would you pick? You two are such a great team. Beltram handed Carolyn his business card. The phone number on the lower right is the number of my atelier. Please tell your friend that I will need to see her for a fitting immediately. Beltram by Beltram's dresses appear simple, but that simplicity takes time. Carolyn promised she'd send Aggie to Beltram's studio as soon as she shared the good news with her. Right now, though, she had work to do. She had uncovered a potential site for Righteous Records in a townhouse in Midtown. The building's new owners had found blueprints of an imaginary bridge on the stucco underneath some old wallpaper they'd removed. The more wallpaper they removed, the more bridges they found. The artist who had drawn these images had been popular during the Great Depression and forgotten soon after. His collected works were now known as the Bridges to Nowhere. The room full of bridges to nowhere was beautiful and melancholy. Carolyn was drawn to the beauty of the drawings, and she was hoping Natalie Martino, the head of Righteous Records, very hard-to-please woman, would be attracted to the site's melancholy side. And she was right. Sort of. Now, this is a good site, Natalie Martino told Carolyn, as her group roamed through the space. Oh, does that mean you like it? Carolyn said. Personally? Sort of. But this place is not going to give us an arrow of love. I hate to say it, but wait. Why are you smiling? Carolyn had been trying to keep her personal life separate from her professional life. But Natalie's mention of arrow of love had bridged the gap. So she confessed. She was getting married in less than a week in Reverend Evans's churchyard, in the garden across from Enid Hobbs' grave. You're getting married! How grand! James, Natalie's second-in-command, exclaimed. Congratulations, the rest of the team said, all except for one. Great, Natalie Martino said. Now we're really screwed. The only person more distracted than a bride-to-be is a pregnant bride-to-be. Natalie Martino raised an eyebrow. Oh, no, I'm not pregnant, Carolyn said. But she was feeling distracted. How could she not be? But she couldn't tell Natalie Martino that. She was determined to find a site for Righteous Records before her wedding. It was her way of proving to herself that getting married was an and kind of situation, as in married and a hugely successful tour guide specializing in overlooked landmarks, as opposed to being an or kind of situation. If she had to lie to Natalie Martino to keep her job, she was going to do it. There's no need to worry. I'm totally on top of things, Carolyn told Natalie. I'll find your site by my wedding day, if not sooner. That's good to hear, Natalie monotoned, since up till now, I wasn't sure you were going to find it at all. Now, I know how busy all of you are with concerts and special events, Carolyn continued, but I'd like to invite you to my wedding if you're free. We'd love to come, the group from Righteous Records responded, all except for, hold on, who's doing the music? Natalie Martino said. We haven't decided that yet, Carolyn said, but it is on our to-do list. We thought a DJ maybe, or a string quartet. Stop right there. Natalie Martino held up her hand. She turned to James, her second-in-command. Call Marty in talent. Tell him to call in a favor from Cecile. Tell him we need someone who's high wattage, low voltage, romantic, but not too sugary. Someone like, what's her name, who played that thing last year for what's-his-face's thing. Got it, James said. All right, you can cross music off your to-do list, Natalie Martino told Carolyn. Thank you. That is so nice of you, Carolyn said. Maybe Natalie Martino had a soft side after all. Hey, I'm doing this for me, not you, the woman from Righteous Records said. Finding the right wedding band is a time suck for any bride, and I need you to spend your time focusing on me. Plus, regular wedding bands drive me crazy. If I'm going to attend your wedding, I need to enjoy the soundtrack. Well, I'm sure anyone you pick will be wonderful, Carolyn said. Well, that's a given, Natalie Martino said. And did you see how quickly I got that done? This is what I need from you. A site with a hit song hiding inside it fast. So what's our next step? It was a long shot, but Carolyn didn't have time to double-guess her instincts. She took the group from Righteous Records to see the Whispering Benches, the matching stone seats that carried sound across the park where they were situated. The Whispering Benches were a wonderful place to find a hidden star. Tons of unsung stories had been whispered into their stones, she told the group. She couldn't say for sure. After all, music was their field of expertise, but perhaps one of those stories could inspire a song. Carolyn asked Natalie Martino and her team to sit on one of the benches, and she went to sit on the other. "You see?" she whispered to the team through the stone. And the stones carry the sound across the field to the other bench. "Ooh," the group exclaimed. "I hate to say it, but this is kind of nice," Natalie Martino said. "Take your time," Carolyn told them. "Feel it out. Look around." As the team from Righteous Records searched for inspiration on their stone bench, Carolyn reached into the tiny space between the arm of the bench and the seat of her bench. The photograph of Jimmy Foss was still there, tucked inside the stone crease. "Well, I tried," Carolyn said to herself, forgetting about the stone bench's ability to carry sound between them. Don't take it so hard," Natalie Martino whispered from her bench. "You've delivered a real spark of something here. But we don't need a spark. What we need you to find us is a star." And with that, we can conclude tonight's episode of Blame It on Hoboken. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Michelle and Lamomo Mace for hosting us. We'll see you next week. We end as we begin with our theme song. You can visit me on Sharon Glassman Live on Facebook if you'd like to like me and get the updates there. Paul Kiddick, we'd like to thank him for beautiful sound and lighting and musical accompaniment. He's going to join me on the theme song, Lights. Lamomo Mace Bakery also has a Facebook page. Colorado Aromatics has a Facebook page. Full Circle Yoga has a Facebook page. We should all just be friends. We should all Facebook each other like crazy. Thank you again. Come next week. There is much more happening. It's happening fast. Oh, wait. I'm stuck. And I gotta take off these reading glasses. Oh, hi. Now I can see you. Oh, you're that guy. You're that guy. What, am I stepping on the... Oh. See? 1, 2, 3. Blame it on the season. I'll do that right. I'll blame it on the season. Blame it on the weather. I'll blame it for no reason. On a feather, you can blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with me. You can blame it on the game. Blame it on the batter. I'll blame it on my name. It doesn't matter. You can blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with me. Magic kicks off Saturday night when your ferry pulls in from Brooklyn Heights. All the gangplank's down, the love bug bites, the skyline spells forever. As long as we're together, we can blame it on a fish, blame it on the ocean, I'll blame it on this kiss. If you get the notion, you can blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with me. Magic kicks off Saturday night when your ferry pulls in from Brooklyn Heights. All the gangplank's down, the love bug bites, the skyline spells forever. As long as we're together, you can blame it on a fish, blame it on the ocean, I'll blame it on this kiss. If you get the notion, then you blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with, blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with, blame it, but don't tame it. Write our names and flame with it. No 2 days the name on it. Stay, claim for fame on it. Blame it on Hoboken. But baby, stay with me. Thank you. See you next week. We'll play a theme song for you. Paul wants an encore. Paul asked for an encore. So we're going to play an encore. Thank you. Thank you for that request. What would you like to play? It's hilarious. No. Sure. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going out with Sally, going out with Sue, to a tiny little tavern where the dancers 2 by 2. While out there in the parking lot, the stars came shining through. They drew a heart, and in one part they spelled out me and you. Oh, star shine, shine so good, old light. Oh, star shine, everything's alright. been dark and cloudy and good luck seems passing through. In the sky, way up high, the stars will talk to you, you. We were looking for a clover in a field of broken glass, wondering things over, asking if the die were cast. Out there in the distance, the stars turned on at last. Right end to end, they said, my friend, you're moving way too fast. Oh, starshine, shines a good old light. Oh, starshine, everything's alright. When the day's been dark and cloudy and good luck seems passing through, up in the sky, way up high, the stars will talk to you, you. A mile in the distance, an eon in the past, the night's a velvet blanket dotted with bright lights of cast, shaped every shadow and true north every mast. Ah, sweet dreams to every dreamer and a yes to all we ask. Oh, starshine, shines a good old light. Oh, starshine, everything's alright. When the day's been dark and cloudy and good luck seems passing through, up in the sky, way up high, those stars will talk to you. Up in the sky, way up high, the stars will tell you true. And now it really is good night. Good night.